What can you substitute for tomato paste? This says tomato sauce or tomato puree. Well, I have tomato sauce. All right. What's up, friends? My name is Ryan. This is Coffee Talks Therapy, where we talk about problems affecting your happiness. Today, we're talking about the 3 most common misconceptions when it comes to emotional eating. We have so many wrong ideas when it comes to this, and I want to tell you what is actually right. But today, we have a little bit of a different video. I'm going to be cooking dinner with you and chatting about these misconceptions. So no coffee today, dinner instead. Let's dive into it. You know how people that are chefs and are really good at cooking can just like with the knife? I don't think I'll ever be able to do that. Nor would it probably be a good thing if I ever did that. Look at that carrot. What the heck? We'll just put that in there as so. Briefly about some of the common misconceptions around emotional eating. So the first common misconception that people have when it comes to emotional eating is that they're emotional eating because they lack self-control or willpower, when it's really the comfort that they're lacking. So after a bad day, the reason why you're grabbing that tub of ice cream or that fried chicken is not because you don't have the willpower to not eat it, it's because that's what you've taught yourself brings you comfort. In order to stop emotional eating has nothing to do with self-control or willpower, and everything to do with the fact that you just need comfort from something else. About misconception number 2. The second common misconception that so many people have when it comes to emotional eating, including myself, is that emotional eating only occurs around negative emotions. That's not the case at all. Anytime you eat, it's surrounded by an emotion. Think of all the times you went to a birthday party or a graduation or maybe a wedding or any kind of celebration where you were also eating as well. Food is social and therefore emotional, and that means that it's not just the negative emotions that are causing you to emotional eat. Emotional eating is anytime you eat. So we need to break away this negative connotation we have around emotional eating and accept that anytime we eat is emotional. And once we can start accepting that, we're able to start breaking away the layers of why it is we're really going to food when we're feeling bad. Soaking up that extra liquid, let's get this out of here. So, the third common misconception that people have when it comes to emotional eating, and this was the all-time misconception that was keeping me stuck when I struggled with emotional eating, or well, I really like to say comfort eating, is that I believed that if I was just happier, my emotional eating would go away. So I tried so hard to be happy and to try and cultivate more happiness in my life in the hopes that I would eventually stop. For any of you who have ever struggled with eating, you know this is not the case, okay? Because what's happening is that it doesn't matter how happy you are. The reason, again, back to point number one, that you are emotional eating is because you're using food as comfort. So it doesn't matter how happy you are. The fact of the matter is that we're human, and it doesn't matter how happy or amazing our lives are, bad things are gonna happen, and we're gonna have a bad day. And if we have learned to use food as a coping mechanism, and we have learned to use food as comfort, it doesn't matter how amazing or how happy our lives are. We will always go back to that food, regardless, because that's what we're using to cope. So what do we need to do? Find another coping mechanism. Find something else to help A, bring you comfort, B, to help you cope with whatever's going on, and that's what'll help with that feeling out of control with your eating. That's what'll stop you from reaching for the tub of ice cream. And please, please, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't eat the ice cream. I mean, take it from me, I eat ice cream, no joke, every single night. But when you go for the ice cream, I want it to be your choice. I want it to be a positive experience. I want it to be something that you feel in control of. Not because you feel like you have to. Not because you're sad. Not because that's the only thing in your life bringing you joy right now. Check it on these noodles. All right, I don't know what happened, but these noodles completely disintegrated. Maybe I should have made some fresh ones. Well, you win some and you lose some, right? I'm gonna turn that off and let that sit. At the end, I'll probably just throw some cilantro on top of it, a little bit of sriracha. Oh, it'll be good. It'll be good. It's not pretty, but it'll be good. All right, so there's my, we'll just put that guy back in there. Bowl of stir fry. Let's recap. So number one, you're not emotional eating because of a lack of willpower or self-control. You're emotional eating out of comfort. So in order to stop trying to cultivate more self-control or willpower. Bring more areas of comfort into your life. The more comfort you bring into your life, the less you'll look to food for it. Number two, emotional eating isn't always negative. So stop thinking about it as always negative. We emotionally eat around everything. Food is emotional eating. Every time we eat, it's emotional eating. We eat when we're happy, we eat when we're sad. So when we're able to take that negative connotation away from the eating itself, it doesn't become this bad negative thing. And when it doesn't become this bad negative thing, it doesn't feel so shameful to be doing it. The less shame we feel, the less we'll engage in it. And number three, it doesn't matter how happy or how miserable your life is. Just trying to get happier isn't gonna make the emotional eating go away. You're using emotional eating as a coping mechanism. So it doesn't matter how great your life is. We know that life isn't always perfect. So if you're using food as a coping mechanism now, you're always gonna be using food as a coping mechanism regardless of how amazing your life is. In order to stop using food as a coping mechanism and to stop thinking that if I was just happier, then I'd stop emotional eating, find another way to cope. Journaling, reaching out, calling a friend, going for a walk. That'll naturally help you stop emotional eating. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully your dinner will turn out better than mine. Until next time,